Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's Friday, October 18, 2019. I'm Dave Guerra, and this is Let's Have a Chat About Leadership for Friday, October 18. Sorry about that, October 18, 2019. How are you? Hope you had a great work week. Hope it was productive. Hope you got to achieve all the goals you set for yourself. Laid out some new plans, new goals for next week. Next month already, you need to start looking at November. What do you want to accomplish for November? Because if you're not doing it now, it's going to sneak up on you, and then it's just that much easier to just let it slip on by. So start planning this weekend. That's your homework for this weekend, is to get ready for next month. Set your plans, set your goals, and then plan them out. How are you going to execute so that come the after Thanksgiving weekend, because you're working through the weekend, don't think you're not, to achieving those goals and getting them done. Plan them out, figure out what you can do, get yourself one of these huge, what's it, like 5x7, I don't know what it is, it's huge. It's a note card. I love me some note cards, but hey, bigger the better, right? Okay, so anyway, how are you? Hope everything's going well. Hope you had a great week, and hope you do have a great weekend. So as we talk about on Fridays, it is Forbes Friday. Every Friday we talk about Forbes Friday, anything from the website, the .com, the magazine, the books, the videos, the audios, the podcasts, the newsletters, the groups, the online groups. There's a slew of online groups for Forbes. Check it out. Again, I get nothing from this. They don't pay me. They don't pay me for anything. I like it because, again, I like the coverage that they present. I like the no nonsense approach that they take, and they'll name names and call people out on all sides of the tracks, not just the popular ones. No, everybody gets their fair share. Everybody gets called a knucklehead, basically, or a dumbass for doing knucklehead stuff. And speaking of knucklehead stuff, let's dive into today. Well, it looks like Tesla. You know Tesla, the electric car, right? Elon Musk, Tesla. Okay, so they just got Tesla. Elon Musk, come on, SpaceX. That Elon Musk, yes, SpaceX. Okay. So he has this electric car company, not electronic, but electric car company with electronic components. There we go. And he just got approval to start building in China. So, wow. So there goes that stock. You got stock in Tesla. Kudos to you. Anybody that supplies Tesla, you got stock in those companies. Kudos to you. Get ready. It's about to go through the roof. And that's a good thing. So again, electric cars on the road. It's awesome, and this kind of plays into a little bit later on what I'm going to talk about next. Or not next, I'll skip one. But I'm going to stick with China. So again, kudos to Tesla, making cars in China for delivery in China and Asia. Awesome. Next, the NBA in China. Well, this past week, knucklehead basketball player, can't wait for the season to start, so he just is quiet and closes his mouth, stops yapping, and starts doing his job. And LeBron James went ahead and started kind of backpedaling on the China Hong Kong situation, and it's like he called the head coach that made a comment about China's handling of the Hong Kong demonstrators and protesters. He called them an uneducated. It's like, well, this is like it's like calling an undertaker, and the other one a mortician, right? You seen that commercial? Calling a ghost, and the other one a spirit. Exactly. This guy just has nowhere to stand. He's an idiot. And he's an idiot because, again, he doesn't truly understand. Again, he comes from a different time, a different place, but he's stepping himself up to become one of those SJWs. And I get it. He wants to get the kids' attention. I understand that. But again, if you're going to say the right thing, know what you're saying and understand the whole picture, not just go around calling people uneducated, because it makes you look uneducated. And that's the bottom line. That pretty much is it. If you don't know what you're talking about, the first thing you don't do, if you want to build credibility and you want to get somebody's attention, is quit calling people names. And don't even say he's uneducated. Don't even bring him up. Just give your 2 cents. And if your 2 cents is to support China and their activities against the protesters, more power to you. I see it both sides. Because I've seen it in a different place, in a different world, in a different time. Back at the end of the Cold War and the fall of the Berlin Wall. And I do know that when the protests were out in Leipzig and in East Berlin and in Karl Marxstadt and all over Eastern Germany, that they wanted those freedoms, those reforms, and they were leaving by the droves over that summer of '89 and fall of '89. I don't remember any of them wearing masks. I don't remember any of them destroying private and public property. And so that I side with on the government. It's like, wait a minute, we can't have these knuckleheads taking advantage of a situation. Yes, there can be demonstrations, there can be peaceful demonstrations. But again, if you're going to go hiding your faces because you have an intention of doing something wrong, and if that intention is destroying property, that's not the way it works. That just puts your cause 2 steps back instead of one step forward at a time. So I understand that. But again, okay, so the NBA in China, read the article. And basically, it doesn't really matter. Just come to find out, because again, China censors pretty much everything that goes on, including NBA games. So they will censor them. And whatever feed gets sent over, they're going to go ahead and censor them, because again, they don't want to portray, they like the game, but they just don't want to portray all the extras of the West, of the United States, the excess of the United States, and going against the party line. And so I understand that. But again, treading the fine line, it's going to be difficult. But again, they're vested in the actions of China, and they're vested in the growth of the NBA in China, because again, they love their basketball. So it's a fine line. You got to be careful. But again, it's going to be something that's going to start reshaping itself. It's going to redevelop, and we'll see what finally comes out at the other end of it. But if people are afraid to speak, then maybe they shouldn't be doing business at all. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, going back to Tesla, electric cars, Saudi Aramco IPO, the initial public offering of Saudi Aramco. And there was this great article in there about why you should not invest in Saudi Aramco. This organization, this business, deals with oil production, and they've got this launching this IPO, and everybody's saying it's going to be bad for the economy, it's going to be bad for the government, it's going to be bad for the world, it's going to be bad for everyone and across board. But the good people over at Forbes created a list of top 10 reasons not to invest, and the couple of top three that I came up with, that I got out of that, is no growth. No growth. Pretty much, if you're going to be investing your hard-earned money in stocks, bonds, funds, whatever, you want something that's going to grow, and you want organizations that grow. So if you invest in these small startup tech companies, you expect them to grow. That's just the standard. Well, here's the situation with Saudi Aramco. They're not going to grow, because they're controlled. Since 2014, they've only been producing 10 million barrels a day. Since 2014. That's a lot of oil, but again, there's no growth there. So 10 million barrels since 2014, where's the growth? There isn't any. So there's one reason, number one. You're not going to make your money. You're just going to have a worthless piece of paper in the end. Next, there's no autonomy, meaning there's no board, there's no directors. On paper there is, because there has to be. But the truth is that this organization, Saudi Aramco, is forever under the command of the king. Again, forever under the command of the king. So you get that. I hope you got that, because it's terrible. They have no autonomy. The Saudi king is the king, who is forever under command of that organization. So Saudi Aramco is forever under the command, forever under the command of the king. So I can't stress that enough. So understand that again, there's no autonomy, there's no room for growth. Whatever the king says goes. It's just the deal. Lastly, well, I mean, there's 7 others, but the last one, the top 3 that stuck out is this next one. Too many alternates. Way too many alternates in that market. Way too many alternates in that field. And right now, because we're nowhere near at this point, today, we're not near. We're getting there, but it's called peak oil. And peak oil is that point when we've drilled and we found so much that we found, and now there's no new places to go, no new places. Now we have a finite quantity of oil in the earth, and there's still more out there. Venezuela has so much more oil than Saudi Arabia, and at some point we're going to get the peak oil in Saudi Arabia, and then what are they going to do? So the problem in Venezuela has got to get worked out. West Texas, so much oil. Again, it'll be a while before that hits peak oil, but in the global sense, we're going to get there. We're going to get there, and when we get there, then things will be not in a panic. Had this been the 1970s, I guarantee you it would have been a panic. 1980s, panic. 90s, maybe not so much. And today, no. And so forecasting 25 years from now, all the electric cars are going to be on the road, all the alternative fuels that are going to be available, then we're moving that way. So when the moment hits peak oil, we're ready, and it's not going to impact us as a people, as a nation, as a community, as human beings now. Because again, we've done the work, we put in the homework, we've created these alternate vehicles, these alternative fuels, and that being said, we're good to go. So why would you want to invest in an organization that, it's under the command of the king? No other, there's too many other alternative oil companies out there. And again, once we get to the peak oil part, what's going to happen to that stock? It'll be worthless because we're going to run out of commodity. Something to think about. It's your money, folks. It's your money. You invest where you want to. Listen, I'm Dave Guerra. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching all week. I do appreciate it. When you get a chance, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Dave_Guerra. Let me know you're following me there. And definitely, let's start a conversation on Twitter. Let's start a conversation on Twitter. Let me know what you think. Think about what Saudi Aramco IPO, the Tesla in China, the NBA, and all of that nonsense with LeBron and whatever. The court jester, I'm sorry. They call him some other name, but I'm calling him the court jester. And because, again, I can. Why not? So with that being said, folks, have a great weekend. Do your homework. Get your goals lined up for November, and get the plan in action so you can execute on 1 November. But also start looking at how you're finishing this month and what you need to do to finish out the goals in this month. All of that, I bid you a great weekend. Take care. Have a safe one, and I will talk to you on Monday. Sports and leadership. Ouch on Patrick Mahomes. Ouch. Have a good evening.